Hello, and welcome back to Own Your Peace. I'm your host, Andy Thewison, and today we have a really exciting guest. I have Tamara Wamsley with me, and she is a midlife coach helping high achievers who are suffering from burnout and this energy of like, I've done all the things and not knowing what to do to navigate next. She uses tools like Clifton Strengths and Working Genius to accomplish her magic. I'm so excited to have her on and really have a beautiful conversation of burnout and what hitting your late 30s and 40s and beyond really is bringing up. As women who are both in the thick of it, I think we both have a lot to add to this conversation. Thank you so much for being on.
Thank you so much for having me.
Well, I am so excited to dive into so many delicious things. First of all, tell us a little bit about who you are and the work that you do, and kind of your story that got you to where we're at today.
Oh my goodness. So I was I was conditioned, I was raised to, do all the things that we're supposed to do, go to school, get good grades, get the job, get the 2.5 kids or whatever. And I did all of those things, but I found myself being almost 40 and really, really struggling with the work that I was doing. I would get really excited and I would start a new job and go through all the learning process and just love it. And then as soon as I knew what the job was, what it entailed, I would start to burn out. I would just get bored and I would want to be on to the next thing, learning something. So when it first happened, I thought, well, I just need, to switch jobs. So I'll get a different job. And then, job number two, the same pattern emerges. Job number three, the same pattern emerges. And so I really was just, wondering like, what is wrong with me? Like, I don't understand why I'm feeling the way I'm feeling. And I was like driving to work in the commute and my stomach would ache. I started having multiple panic attacks every day while at work. At home, things were good. I was happy with with my life outside of work, but just that work was just a struggle, and of course, that was bleeding over into my life. So I began having actual health issues. It began like I was gaining weight, and I was just completely miserable. And of course, that made me not be the mom that I wanted to be at home. It all just started really impacting my life in general. And so I was just wondering, like, what's wrong with me? Why can't I be satisfied? Why does everything feel so heavy? So a friend introduced me to Clifton Strengths,
Okay.
and taking that assessment changed my life and it changed the trajectory of my career. And then in 2018, I was blessed to go and be able to go and get certified to be a Gallup certified Clifton Strengths coach. And then a couple of years ago, I was introduced to another tool called Working Genius. And combining those two, it just changed the work that I'm doing. I think that they're just tools that help you to really understand yourself. Clifton Strengths is really personality, and Working Genius is about productivity. So it's about how you best get your work done. And I love merging the two because it just makes sense to me.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
I think it helps women to see, like, oh my goodness, if I add more of this type of work to the work that I'm doing, or if I make this slight pivot at work, it will make me so much happier and it will make me like so much more effective in my work and so much more productive. And so I really I love helping women that are facing burnout, who are feeling the way that I was feeling, who are having the panic attacks and the health impacts from their work, and helping them to figure out like what that path looks like in order to get to a place where they can show up authentically and trust that inner knowing and really
Yes.
follow their path to a career that is in a little an alignment with them, and so that they can be happier, because I hate seeing those people because I was one of them.
Right.
I felt like when going to my cubicle every day, I felt like it was a jail cell. Like I truly did internally. And logically that made no sense to me, but that's how I felt about it. And so I just don't want to see women stay in that anymore.
I say this all the time on the podcast. Our pain becomes our medicine, our mess becomes our message. And we
Yes.
go through certain things because by us living it, we become the strongest teachers of it.
Yes.
And I'm hearing you speak, and of course, I peeked at her human design chart, and I think that's what's really cool is these really pair nicely with the tools that I use.
Yes.
Of course, she's a manifesting generator, which makes so much sense because you would come in so excited about a project, get put all your life force energy into it. And when it was complete, it was time to pivot and move
Yes.
on and build something new. And that is so natural for a manifesting general generator life path that it can feel like you're a quitter. Why can't I stay with things? But you are naturally doing what your soul wanted to do. Um,
Yeah.
Sitting at a cubicle where there's no change, there's no pivoting, that's doing the same things every day is literally a prison sentence for a manifesting
Right?
generator. Like that's not going to work. But what's cool is, we were having this conversation even before we popped on to record, is what's really cool is like, yes, human design, astrology tell you what your soul's blueprint is, but sometimes we've been so conditioned to where we're at right now. Clifton Strengths and Working Genius help you see where you're at. So if you're looking at your human design, if you're looking at your astrology and you're like, oh, I love those things for me and I feel them on a soul level that they're true, but I don't know how to bridge the gap from where I'm at to where I need to be. I really feel like the tools that you're working with help people understand how they're showing up currently.
Yes.
And then looking at human design and astrology, like how I can get there.
Yeah.
And so I really love this pairing because it helps these, women who are like you and I who have done all the right things and towed the line. We were bought and sold. This is the way you do life. And why would you question anything else?
Right.
And I think you and I are seeing in the women we coach and the women who come into our spaces that it's just not working.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, and I think one of the biggest things that got me was understanding that when we're 20 something, we're conditioned to be like to behave a certain way, to behave a certain way in your job and to do certain tasks in our job. And I think it really impacts women more so, even more so than men, because I think a lot of it is the especially for me as a Gen X, I think that I was in a lot of spaces where I was the only woman. There were a
Yes.
lot of men around me, and so my degree's in economics, so that
My
explains
degree is
that.
in finance, which is we've never even talked
Yes.
about, but like we were both in
Yes.
very similar spaces.
Yeah. So I think that I was put in a position where it was like they wanted me to be the caregiver. And that is like the opposite of how I'm made to be. And so that just made it even more painful. And I think that happens to a lot of women. And I think that when you're 20 something, you can kind of squish that down. You are like, oh, this is just how work is. You like make these excuses. Then you start having kids and you've got so much going on and so much to balance that it depletes your ability to squash it down. And by the time we're 40, we're like, screw this. I can't do this anymore.
No,
And so I think that's why we're at this age where people are just like, why is it all the perimenopausal women are like suddenly wanting to blow up their lives? But I think
right?
that that's why. And my whole work is don't blow up your life.
Don't blow up your life.
Don't
No,
blow up your life.
don't blow up your life. You can
You can figure
navigate
it
this
out. Yeah.
with grace, right? And I think there's a lot, even from a hormonal standpoint. When you're in your 20s, your hormones make you more adaptable. They make you more likable. They make you more pleasing. So
Yeah.
you get conditioned because people are responding to that version of you,
Right.
right? And it's easier because you have these hormones that are like helping you be so likable and pleasing and kind,
Right.
all those things. And as we get older, those hormones would not be hormoning. And all of a sudden,
Right.
those things that we could just like look the other way or like, oh, it's fine, it just let it go. We're not letting it go anymore.
No.
We're
No.
kind of done. We're kind of, I don't want to say kind of. We
We're
are
so
done.
done.
We're so done. And we're done. And I think this is really the bottom line here is we're done losing ourselves. We're
Yes.
done giving ourselves away for everyone
Betraying
else.
ourselves.
Betraying
Yes.
ourselves. That self-abandonment is
Yes.
so real. And so many of us have felt it on such a cultural level. We talk about being in a male-dominated industry. I was in
Mhm.
finance. I was stockbroker. And I don't know how, as a stockbroker, I grew up Mormon. I don't know why I was a one woman on the team, but I was in charge of coffee. I didn't even drink it. Because I was a woman, that was my
That's so
responsibility.
disturbing. I
So
know.
disturbing.
Yeah.
Like, why me? Yeah.
Yes.
It's so but that is the dynamic that we grew up in. I hope it's different for our daughters,
I
that they
do.
don't have the same patriarchy built into how they grow up, and that's there's more balance
Yes.
for them than there was for us. Cause I'm sure you ran into, and then a lot of the times where we were having to deal with weird advances in the office place or weird flirtation dynamics to get ahead. And I dealt with it all the time. There was a fine line of like being likable and flirty and giving them, maybe they had the opportunity and there never was, but like that's what was to play the game, even in
Yeah.
these male dominated industries.
It's disgusting.
It's disgusting.
Yeah. Well, I have a daughter who's a 20 something, and
Same.
she does not have the same kind of struggles that we had.
No.
Thank God.
I look at my 21-year-old and she is so fierce. She would not put up with any of the stuff that I dealt with. And
No.
I'm so incredibly proud of her for that. And I'm like, I hope that I had a hand in that.
Yes. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
All right. Okay. So as women are coming into your realm, what are you seeing and how are you helping them find themselves again in the work that you do?
Yeah, I think that it's still that inner knowing and trusting ourselves is still the biggest battle, because I feel like when they come to me, they're all up in their heads and they're like, but I should do this, I should do that. And I think that we have this debate inside of our brain that's going on even when our body's screaming at us, hey, wait, I'm feeling this.
Right.
And
They're
so it's
literally getting
really,
sick.
yeah. And so I think that unfortunately, or fortunately, I don't know, we've been coached to be very logical and to make wise choices and to not make mistakes. And I think that a lot of the work that I do is kind of like, okay, yes, but let's rein that in for a second. And when you ask yourself the question, like, should I do this, yes or no? How does that feel in your body? Like, is it feeling lighter? Is it feeling expansive? Or do you feel yourself contract because you know it's not the right choice? And so I feel like it's a lot of educating them on, utilizing the tools like Clifton Strengths and Working Genius, and educating them, helping them to learn more about who they really are, how they really work, how does this actually look in your life? But also educating them on like coming back into themselves and trusting that. Because I feel like we've been coached to ignore that and not trust it, if that makes sense.
100%. I think that's one of the things we um, lose a lot of times is ownership of our own inner voice.
Yes.
Because in the real world, air quotes there, we're praised for being logical, for being sound minded, for weighing
Yeah.
pros and cons. But truly, we weren't ever designed to work that way. We were
No.
designed to listen to our body and our body's response, our nervous system response. Then
Yes.
we go to our minds and our sharp, keen intellect because we're smart women.
Right.
And we can use that intellect to strategize, to create a path forward, but it starts with the body first
Yes. Yeah.
and using that. And I love how you're able to use these tools. A key point of the work that you do is that just because you're really good at something and just because it's easy for you and you've gotten a lot of accolades for it, you've been praised for it, doesn't mean it's something you should be doing.
100%. 100%. Yes.
Yeah.
There's work that we can do that gives us energy, and there's work that we do that sucks our energy. So if you're coming home at the end of the day feeling completely drained and depleted, you're not doing the right kind of work for you.
Yeah. And it could be something that you're super praised for, that everyone thinks that
Yes.
you're the best at, but it depletes you. So it's not the right fit.
Yeah. And often that is the case. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because a lot of times the work that we're good at, the work that we're praised at, is more from a survival standpoint.
Yes.
And a lot of it is trauma response
Yes. So true. Yes. Absolutely.
and not actually our true gifts.
Yes. Yeah.
The families that we grew up in, the dynamics within the family, they all created these trauma responses that sadly, as we got older, became things that we were, cheered on for, we were celebrated for. And it became something we couldn't escape even.
Yeah.
But I love that there's these tools now that you're like, oh, these are like, just because I'm good at it, I can put it down,
Right. Yeah.
right? And I can do what like actually feels good in my nervous system, that feels good in my body because it's not coming
Right.
from a trauma response. It's coming from like my soul
Right.
and what's
Yeah.
good for me.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah. Are you familiar with Bronnie Ware?
No.
Okay, so she was the author. She wrote the top five regrets of the dying.
Okay, now I recognize that book.
Yes, yeah. So she was a palliative care professional and she took care of people when they were on their deathbed. And so she found out that like the number one regret that people had when they were getting ready to die is that they wish they'd lived a life true to themselves, not the life that other people expected of them. And when I heard that, it like rocked my world because I was like, oh my God, that's what I'm doing. That's exactly what I'm doing. And so I knew in that moment I had to make changes. And I feel like that's why I do the work that I do because I want to save people from having that regret.
Yeah, and it's such an easy thing to fall into.
Right?
It's so easy to fall into. I think we find, and I think I've read this somewhere and I'm gonna mess it up, so don't quote me on this, but um complacency and comfortability lead to a slow death because we
Yeah.
have just enough money in the bank. Everything is good on paper,
Right.
but we're dying inside because
Yeah.
we're ending our lives or moving towards the end of our lives with the songs unsung within us,
Hmm.
the words unwritten within inside us. And
Yeah.
so when I feel like I'm feeling too comfortable, too complacent in my own life, I know it's time to shake things up.
Yeah, wow. Yeah, absolutely. And I feel like that's why so many women are like, having the glasses of wine in the evening. And it's like, because we have that internal knowing that things aren't where they should be.
Right.
That,
And
yeah,
it's numbing.
but it's hard.
It's hard. And it's so much easier, it's so much more comfortable to just go into work another day, drink that glass of wine at night to numb, turn
Yeah.
on Netflix to numb. I'm not saying watching a good Netflix show at night is
Or having a glass of wine.
or having a glass of wine. Those are not bad things. If you're doing those things, that's okay. But what is the energy that you're putting into those things? Is it, you know what? I had a great day. I just want to unwind. I want to slow down at the evening and enjoy my time. Or is
Yeah.
it like, I'm so unhappy in my own life?
Yes.
I just want to the world off and completely numb out to it all. Those are
Yep.
two very different energies.
Yes.
And that's when you really have to go inward to yourself into that inner knowing and be like, and what am I doing? Am I numbing out at night?
Yeah.
Or am I winding down and just enjoying the fruits of a really good, fun, productive day where I am living in the highest honor of my truest self?
Yeah.
Totally
Yeah.
different vibes.
It makes me wonder how our parents did it. Really, because my mother never drank a day in her life. She didn't really watch TV. I'm like, how'd she make it through? Like, it's fascinating to me.
Yeah, we've been talked about this a little bit before. Why this generation? Why Gen X? Why elder millennials? Why does it feel so different than the generations of women before us who got to this middle age point where those hormones are getting shut off? We are so done. But I feel like this generation is getting a whole lot of permission slips through these different tools that are coming online. Things are shifting and changing so much in the world that we're getting permission slips to really step out of and say no, where the generations before us really didn't have that ability as much as we do now. And I hope that makes
Yeah,
it even easier for generations beyond us.
yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So, what do you think is causing that? Like, is it, I know you do a lot with the horoscopes and the star alignment and things like that. Like, why do you think that Gen X is feeling that so hard right now?
Okay, so there's a lot that goes into the astrology of it. We could look at it could be a whole podcast on the astrology and what's going on in particular with our generations. Most of Gen X was born within two different generational planetary moves. So the beginning of Gen X was when Pluto was in Virgo. which is a service-based sign. And then we moved into Pluto and Libra. Planets like Pluto are generational. So a lot of times they will affect a whole generation. When we look at Virgo and the energy of Virgo, they are of service. They look at the finite details, they edit and make things better. And then we look at Libra, which is all about balance and making sure everything's fair and just. We all either they play the scales, right? So there's this energy for both of those signs where it's more outward facing. Pluto is the planet of death and rebirth, but it is a long game. It's not a fast moving planet. It moves slow. What I'm seeing from a generational standpoint and from an astrological standpoint is we were literally coded to wake up later in life,
Hmm.
to not own our power until later in life. So when I get into my psychic abilities and seeing images, I see like this whole switchboard and all these women, and men too, I'm seeing it in men as well, is we're literally getting switched on and our
Interesting.
power is surging back. And we're learning that the way we've done life to this point, the way that we've been programmed societally, conditionally, we were all put in these little boxes where we go to school, we go to the right schools, we get the right education, we have the 2.5 children, we buy the house, we get the job and we stay there for 25 years and we get our gold watch. Like all this bill of sale is no longer working.
Right.
Right? We have these high achieving women who had the family, they had the high powering career, and they're looking around and they have all the things they were told that they should have, and
Yeah.
they're coming up empty.
Yeah. We thought we wanted it.
We thought we wanted it and we got it, but none of those things matter to our souls. Is it fun to have the nice houses and the nice cars and the nice clothes? Yeah, absolutely. Those are going to be fun, but we were told that those were the things that were going to make us happy, and they never will.
Yeah.
It starts with that soul alignment, really understanding who you came to be as a human and living from that place of true authenticity, of true, like, this is who I truly am. I'm not any of these things that anyone told me I am.
Yeah.
Right. And it's living from that. And then those things get to be fun,
Right.
but they're not, it's the chicken before the egg, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I think, yeah, we just expect to be fulfilled by all of that. And we're like, but I don't feel fulfilled.
Right. Because none of those things in and of themselves are fulfilling.
Right.
Happiness always has been an inside job. You
Yep.
can't look to your spouse. You can't look to your job. You can't look to things to make you happy. It has to be, are you okay with yourself? Are you
Yeah.
okay with how you're showing up? Are you actually doing what your soul incarnated to do here?
Yeah.
And I'm so grateful we have tools like human design, astrology, Clifton Strings, and Working Genius that provide a roadmap back to ourselves.
Yes. Yes.
And I
I,
think that's what we've lost.
yeah. And I just heard somebody talking online about that's what menopause is all about. It's about returning to our 16-year-old selves.
Yes, I saw that meme and I'm like, yes. And I am so here for all the midlife influencers who are stepping up. I don't know, maybe just because I'm in that space now that I'm
Yeah.
seeing all of them now. But I also saw something too. She was talking out about how men are biologically inclined to go towards younger women, and that's who they're physically attracted to. And she threw a wrench in that whole thing. And she was like, actually, women who are in their who are older in life own themselves. They own their power. You cannot manipulate them. You cannot control them. You cannot
Right.
tell them what to do. So it
Yeah.
takes a strong man to stand next to that kind of power.
Yeah.
And that's why men are like, oh, these young, palatable 20-year-olds,
Yeah.
30-year-olds are like, I can still tell them what to do. I can still control them. That's what it is. It's not, being with a older woman takes some strength. Like I'm sure even our husbands are meeting a whole new version of us that they did
Oh yeah.
not know that they had signed up for.
They're like, we need some estrogen back in our lives.
Yes. When does the hormone replacement start? Did you run out of your progesterone again? Yes, I did. I call that my happy pills.
Funny.
But That's the shift, and I'm here for all of it. I'm like, let's take back our power. Let's make this a reclamation of ourselves, and let's do
Yeah.
our second half on our own terms because I'm done playing by everybody else's rules for me.
Right? Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I love that.
I think at the end of the day, the thing that we can help people with the most, and this is where it starts, is coming back to that inner knowing and inner trust and inner authority and allowing yourself to be guided by that.
Yes.
It's never been outside of you. It's always been you.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I see so many women who, they go to their friends to find out what they should choose. Do you know what I mean? Like they don't even know like what they think anymore. They've given it up for so long that they legit have no idea what will make them happy. And it's so sad. And I know because I was there.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
it's so easy to put everything outside of yourself.
Yep.
But your friends, how no matter how much they love you, don't know what's right for you.
Right. Yeah.
Only you know what's right for you and what path is correct for you. And just because they've done it one way and it worked really great for them and they're in a really grounded, healthy place and they're giving advice to help you, like you need to know what works for you. And that's why I'm so grateful there's these tools that help add to the conversation of understanding,
Yeah.
right?
Exactly. Yep.
So now I'm all like, I gotta go do this Clifton Strength thing. I gotta go do the Working Genius. Like, I feel like I know where my strengths are. Um, but like, it would be interesting to see how, from a logistical, tactical standpoint, how my Working Genius is like, how to lean in there for more productivity. And because that's the thing that I struggle with, if I'm being honest, is like,
Productivity.
productivity because I'm a big expansive thinker,
Hmm.
and I'm really great at that, but, like, getting down to, like, the nitty-gritty of actually, like, making my big plans, like, turn into something real,
Gotcha.
that's where I'm like, "I don't really want to do that." Like, I just wanna be the ideal lady.
Yeah. Well, it sounds to me then like you're probably maybe wonder is one of your geniuses. And do you feel like you have lots and lots of ideas?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so invention is
Yeah,
probably your other,
for sure.
which is interesting because then you're always at that 30,000-foot view and being on the ground, getting the details done. And tenacity is the one that's closest to the ground. That's the finisher. We can't do that. It's a struggle. It's a struggle. So, and
That
I
sounds
see that
very
show up in my
accurate.
life too because mine are invention and discernment. Let me just back up a second and go over the 6 types because I
Okay.
think that might be helpful. The wonder is the highest level, and those are people who normally just like question and they are sensing what's missing and they are wondering, right? So the word accurately describes it. Then there's invention, and these are the people who are constantly creating new ideas, new solutions. They're always having ideas in their head. And then the third one is discernment.
Okay.
And it's almost like have an inner knowing. They have an intuition and they are really good at refining ideas and then judging ideas as to whether or not they will actually work. Okay.
Ooh, I like that.
Then galvanizers are people who rally people and can make things happen, like they put everybody into action.
Oh,
And so when you're looking at this, I guess I should have said this already. Um, when you're looking at this from a work perspective or like a project perspective, you need all 6 pieces in order for any project to work. Okay. And the acronym is WIDGET.
okay, I like it.
Yeah, it makes it really easy to remember.
Yes.
The next one is enablement. And these are the people who love helping. They love supporting everybody. They love responding to other people's needs. And that is the bucket I was referring to earlier that I feel like as women, we are forced into a lot and it may not be your genius.
Yeah.
Okay. And then tenacity is the final one. So tenacity, people with tenacity are the ground level people. They're the execution people. They're the ones that are following through. They're the ones that want to check everything off and make sure the project gets completed on time. Okay. So if you're high in wonder, then you're probably asking like, Is this even meaningful? Is this the way that we should be doing it? Just constantly like thinking up alternative options. If your invention, you are probably imagining what things could be like, but you're not even like sure how to justify your thoughts. One of the things that I struggled with in corporate America because my high invention is I would just have this like gut feeling or this inner knowing, and I'm like, oh, we need to do this way. And my boss would be like, prove it. I didn't know how to prove it.
Yeah. You're like, I
Like
just
I'm like,
know.
I don't even know where to go with that. Like, yeah.
Yeah.
And I feel like discernment, so I have invention and discernment. And it's like when you have high discernment, it's like you know that something feels off, but you don't know why. Like you really can't explain it. You're just like, no, that's not gonna work. Galvanizers are often they feel called to like lead or speak or a lot of times if it's a woman, she's been told like to play more small, like she's doing too much. She's trying to be too big, if that
Yeah.
makes sense.
Yeah. That too muchness
Yes,
that we
yes,
see all the time.
yes. And enablement, you've supported everybody else, but you forgot about yourself. And so it's one of those, real struggles for a lot of women. Like I'm always putting everybody ahead of myself, right?
Yeah.
And tenacity, I think a lot of times they've been the one to carry things through, but it's out of sheer responsibility. Sometimes they're tired of being the one that everybody can count on, right?
Yeah.
It's just like, my goodness, somebody else help out.
Yeah. I can
So
do
I
it, but
think,
do I want to?
yeah, yeah. So a lot of women get burned out just because their job is built around their competency and not their genius. So let me explain that. So you have their total of six, right?
Okay.
Going through the word widget. You have two that are your genius. And this is where, when you do that kind of work, it gives you energy. Okay.
Yes.
You actually end up feeling better than you did before you started. And then you have two that are your competencies. You can do it. And this is where a lot of us get stuck, but we should not be spending all of our time there. My analogy is like riding a bicycle. So when you're using your genius, it's like riding a bicycle downhill. It's super easy for you. It's fun. It gives you energy. It's great.
You can kick
If
those
you
legs
are
up and just ride.
yeah, yeah. If you're using your competency, it's like riding on a flat surface. It's like, yeah, you can do it, but eventually you're going to get tired. Like you cannot stay there. You should not be riding that bike all day long, right?
Right.
And then you have two that are really, really, really draining. And those are the areas that burnout really comes from. And so you want to make sure that you are obviously we all have to finish projects. Tenacity and enablement are my two that steal my energy. It's not that I can just never get anything done, but
Right.
it's an awareness of like, okay, yes, I have to finish this project today. And I know that that really sucks my energy. And so how can I then add in some of my genius or delegate, or how can I maneuver to get this done today? Then you just know, like, don't schedule dinner with your friends afterwards because you're not going to be good company. Like it's just knowledge, more knowledge about ourselves, if that makes sense.
No, it makes perfect sense. And I'm like over here, my wheels are like turning. I'm like, okay, those are probably definitely generators or like, where they fall and which ones are going to probably lean more into that area of genius based on the energetic types in human design.
Yeah.
Yeah. So generators can be competent. They can get things done. But again, are you doing it in a way that serves you? Are you doing it with that higher level of discernment that helps give you energy back? Right.
Right.
Right,
Yeah.
as opposed to just feeling like you have to do.
Yeah.
That's one thing I see a lot with generators and manifesting generators is they are so gifted in completion and they are so gifted in getting things done. I hate when I see people be like, "Oh, I'm just a generator," or "I'm just because they're the most common.
Yeah.
But I'm like, actually, no. You guys are the heartbeat of the planet. And when you guys are in joy, when you're in flow, when you're riding that bicycle down the hill with your legs out and you're really enjoying the work that you do,
Yeah.
you change the whole dynamic of this entire planet. So I always say like the most rare type is an aligned generator or aligned manifesting generator because you guys produce so much energy and so much light and so much upness that it affects everybody around you. So that's
Interesting.
really important. So I love how these kind of help you see like, oh, where you're overgiving, where you're overcompensating and
Right.
doing things that are not in your best interest. And again, like I think a lot of these things are sometimes trauma based
Yeah.
because were you the silent child? Were you the glass child? All these things that we're seeing within psychology coming out and how we built these personas to protect ourselves.
Yeah, yeah. And I think, all of this information is so important for individuals, but I think it's even more important if you're leading a team.
100%.
That was just what I just told you was very, very high level, like basic
Yeah,
basics. And
it's
of
hard to
course
like not get in the weeds too much with the work
right.
that we
It
do. I'm
goes a
like,
lot deeper.
yeah,
But if so, in order to have like a really good team and be able to tackle projects effectively, you need to have all six of those,
yeah,
right? And if you've got somebody who's working in their frustration, that's the chronic burnout zone. We
yeah.
know that that's going to drain them. We know that that's going to slow things down, and it's going to make your team not as effective as they could
Right.
be.
And it's going to drain everybody else as well.
Right. Yes. Yeah. Because they're not going to show up as their best selves.
No,
Yeah.
but when they're doing something that truly lights them up and they're in that area of genius, then they're producing so much energy that like it's going to lift your entire team.
Yes.
Right. And then we have someone like me who's a projector who doesn't have as much of the tenacity and getting stuff done energy, but we see systems and like more efficient ways of doing things. So we might not have as much output, but the output that we have is the things that shift things.
Gotcha. Yeah.
So you and I putting together a corporate retreat, helping leaders would be so helpful and so
Let's do
impactful.
it.
Let's do it. Because like adding these layers of understanding of like, okay, you have a manifestor on your team. This is how to handle them. This is how not handle them. I hate that. It's like not the right word, but like how to utilize and bring out them,
Support.
but support them, how to support a projector so that they're not getting burnt out, but you're able to get the genius of what they see and what they
Yeah.
bring to the table in 2 or 3 hours of work, but they're going to totally change the game for you as the manager.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, that would be really cool. Having all these tools on the table, really helping you understand your people. Anyone's out there listening to this and you want us to come, we'll work it out.
I love that.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. We just came up with a whole new business plan. Look at
We did.
us innovators over here.
Lots of ideas. Have
Lots of
all the
ideas.
ideas.
We're the idea people. We'll see if we actually make this happen. That's where we need a tenacity person on our team.
Right? Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely.
To book the space, get the people to get there, all the things.
Yeah, we
Yes.
need some galvanizers too.
We need
Yeah.
some galvanizers too. We need the full team. Yes, absolutely. I love this topic and I think it's so relevant right now, especially
Absolutely.
as we look at Gen Xers who are in this space. I don't know what to do next.
Yes.
I can feel it. I don't know how to name it,
Yeah.
but it's just I'm uncomfortable with where I'm sitting right now.
Yeah. And that's my favorite part. My brain really works on strategy. That's my number one strength. And I just love like helping them connect the dots, right? To get from point A to point B. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
So fun.
So fun. All right. Well, this has been so good. I hope that as you're listening to this, you are getting all these permission slips. You're hearing all these aha moments as things kind of come on land for you. How can they get in touch with you if they want to work with you, Tamara?
My website is tamarawamsley.com, and I'm pretty much available on all the social medias, tamara.wamsley. And yeah, just reach out and connect. I would love to.
All right. I'll make sure all of that's in the show notes. And oh, and I forgot to ask you my favorite question to ask every single guest. Tamara, what do you believe is your piece of the puzzle?
Ooh, my piece of the puzzle. I think it really is connecting those dots. I really enjoy understanding where somebody's stuck and figuring out how to get them to where they want to be.
I love that. All right. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you next week. Until then, much love.